All right, the next two forms, we're going to utilize the React router, aka React Router DOM. The first form, we're going to make it so that we can save our form inputs inside the URL so they can be shared and pre-filled automatically. So let's go ahead and start with the installing. npm install React Router DOM. And in order to use the functionality of React Router DOM, we have to create a router. So let's go ahead and do that. So const router is equal to create browser router. So React Router DOM has lots of different kinds of routers. The one we're going to use is the create browser router. Okay, so inside create browser router, we're going to use create routes from elements. Okay, and then so let's create our first route using the route component from React Router DOM. Our path will be just slash. Element will be, let's see here, a query parameters form. And that's it. And then so instead of using the component straight directly in our app, we are going to use our router with the router provider component. Router. So now our query parameters form lives inside of our router. So now we can use the functionality of React Router DOM inside of our query parameters form. So now our form does nothing special right now. It just lives in the router now. Okay, so now let's jump into the form. And one issue with this is that we have a password field, and ideally this kind of form you wouldn't want to put in the URL because you wouldn't want the password in the URL. So let's pretend our boss still wants us to do it this way, but we'll treat the password form field separately. Okay, so the main point of React Router DOM for this case is you want to use a special hook called useSearchParams. Okay, and we can structure just like useState, searchparams, and setSearchParams. Awesome. Now let's create a function called handleChange. And this will take in an event. And we can type it as react.changeEvent as input elements. This will be a special type. Let's go ahead and make that. Because we're working with different kind of input elements. So we're working with regular inputs, we're working with select, and we're working with text area. So let's cover all three of those in one type. Input elements. Awesome. Okay. So now inside of our event.target, we can pull out two things. We can pull out the name and the value. And we can do this because we gave each of our inputs a name field. So when we change the value of our email input, the name will be email and the value will be whatever we type inside of the email input. So what we want to do with this is use the searchparams.set method, and we'll pass in the name as the first argument and value as the second argument. And then we will then call setSearchParams. After we change the search params, let's go ahead and set the search params to the newly changed search params. And this is all we need to do to change the state in the URL. So let's go ahead and do that for each of our inputs, except for password. So on change, handle change. Save. On change, handle change. Skip the password. Select on change, handle change, and for text area, on change, handle change. Awesome. So now let's go ahead and look at our form and let's type inside of it. So giraffe@example.com. We see now that it's being changed inside of the URL. Username, giraffe. Password should not do anything. Color, green, blue. Now it doesn't start off as red, so that might be an issue, but that can be fixed with different ways. We can explore that later. Bio, this is my bio. Okay, so now that we have this, I want to give it to my friend, right? And say, hey, check out this form. It's already pre-filled for you. Just got to put in your password. So you send it to them and say, okay, cool. The information's in the URL. That's fine. But we don't have anything in our form. So it's not really that helpful. So what we can do is use the search params object to set default values. So default value is searchparams.get email. If it exists, if it doesn't exist, just put an empty string. And we'll do the same thing for username. Get the username from our search params if it exists. And then we'll do the same for color. So this time we'll do red. And then text area, bio. Save. And now we have our form pre-filled. Let's try it again. Let's change this to Bob, blue. This is my Bob. Okay, make a new tab. Here, my friend, take this link. It's a pre-filled form. Nice. So now they have to put in their password. Again, this is not the type of form you'd probably use this for. Probably something more like, I don't know, like a volunteering form of some sort or something. Anyways, now that we can set our values, let's go ahead and create a submit handler. Because what's the point of values if we can't do anything with them? So this is nothing special. React.form event, HTML form element. Let's give our submit handler to our form. On submit handler, and are we missing something? Oh, it should be a colon. React.form event, HTML form element. Okay. E.prevent defaults to prevent the native refresh. Const form data is equal to object.fromEntries. So we can take the form data from our search params. And then let's do a couple things. Let's say const color is equal to form data.getColor if it exists. Form data.color. So if our color exists, we'll just use the color it already has. Otherwise, we'll use red. This will cover the case where we don't select anything in the beginning. And then password, we'll use, let's just use document.getElementById. And we gave our password field a ID, I believe. Right here, ID a password. And we can create our data. Data is equal to form data, color, and password will be password dot value. Password is possibly null, so we can say as HTML input element. And let's log the data. Let's see what we get. Secret. Submit. There we go. Our values are good. And then if we want to reset the form, we can do set search params to undefined. And we can do password dot value is equal to an empty string, because we have to take care of the password separately. And submit. Set search params undefined. Okay, so that does not work. Because our let's try an empty object. Okay, so we need to find another way to reset this form. Let's just do it this way. Let's do e.target current target dot reset. That should work out. Okay. So a little hiccup there with the resetting form. There's probably multiple ways to do this, but this will take care of clearing the form in the URL and the form itself. So yeah, that's how you can use state in the query params. Pretty cool. Like I said, you can just give your friend a link and the form values will be pre-filled. Very helpful stuff.